Why haven't you upgraded to Vista yet?
Just the bad things I've heard about it.
Today, I'm going to show you Windows Mojave.
Well, that looked pretty simple. I'm actually blown away. I'm thinking I'd like to have this.
Actually, this is Vista.
Really?
Hey guys, this is Alex Alvin. I'm here with Rob Reger. Thanks so much for joining us. So let's talk about this little lady, Emily Lestrange.
Alright.
What can you, for those who aren't reading the comic, for those who aren't familiar, it certainly had a very interesting genesis.
Indeed.
How did Emily start?
Started out very simply on a skateboard for Santa Cruz Skateboards, and then moved quickly into a t-shirt, which turned into 2 t-shirts, which turned into 3 t-shirts, which turned into a dozen t-shirts, and then for, you know, several years it was just a bunch of t-shirts and stickers we were selling. And each shirt kind of had a small phrase on it that described Emily, and once there was enough of these, we kind of collected that into a book, and the book was then it was published by Chronicle Books. It was distributed to some larger chains like Barnes & Noble, Borders, and kind of expanded her a little bit. The shirts became sweatshirts, became dresses, became bags. You know, first a tote bag, but then a flight bag, and wallets, and slowly the product line kind of grew. And as the product line grew, the stores grew. We really established a good relationship with a chain in the United States called Hot Topic. They were maybe about 40 stores at the time. I think there's like 740 stores now. Kind of grew up with those guys along with them. They really pushed me into developing the character and getting more products for them. And then international came. Internationally, people started taking what we were doing in the U.S. and selling it in their countries. And after that was happening for a while, it was the backstory needed to be developed more. You know, not this one sentence at a time kind of thing. We had to think about, you know, we'd already named her cats. We had things in our mind that described Emily in ways that just didn't exist, and we really had to explore that and start giving that out to the community who loved Emily. And that's where it made sense to do a comic book.
So, just to take a little step back and talk about it, because I think, you know, a lot of people look at it and say, what, a comic book based on a skateboard? I mean, come on. Right. It sounds like you went through a lot of steps really developing the character.
Yeah.
Whether people knew about it or not, in the background you had it going on.
Yes, absolutely. You know, probably started off with naming the cats. You know, little known fact, one of the cats used to be called Darth, but we thought that might, you know, if the character ever became popular, that might be a problem. So that's probably a good thing we did change that. I would say then the personalities of Emily, it was like lists of things that Emily would do, wouldn't do, who she is, who she isn't. That was kind of like in our own style guide, our own way of doing things in-house. But really tried to keep the story of her a mystery for a long time, and then little by little, like I was saying, in each product you kind of learned a little bit more about her.
Hey guys, this special episode of Pulp Secret at Comic-Con is brought to you by Death Race, starring Jason Statham. Check it out in theaters August 22nd.
You're familiar with the death race. The drivers are convicts and the rules are simple.
It's kill or be killed.
I can see the appeal. Win and get your freedom.
Let's play a little offense. You're out in front. Who are you going to shoot at?
Hold tight.
I love this game. You can burn me, you can shoot me, but you can't kill me!
Rated R starts August 22nd.
And the inevitability of telling the story in a comic book was a great synergy between an artist friend of mine from high school, Buzz Parker, who launched our website. He huge comic book fan, and it was his lifelong dream to do comic books. So kind of like, you know, with me writing and him drawing, it was kind of like a really great thing to launch that.
Though you did have the background, were there any challenges then moving from the product line and the background you had in your head to putting it in a comic book?
No, it was more just like a dream, you know. It had to happen. So it was we couldn't wait for it to happen. There wasn't much of a challenge. Maybe the biggest challenge might have been initially finding the right partner. I mean, as soon as I met these guys at Dark Horse, Anita and Shauna Gore, the editor, it was obviously a perfect match with Emily and this company. So.
And clearly something has really clicked about the character in particular with, I think, young women, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's just because Emily is a young woman, or is there something much more?
A strong young woman character definitely would probably be attractive to young women, but I think there's something about the personality of Emily that really attracts fans as well. There's the sense of being alone, but you know, being kind of like alienated from the rest of the world. I think everybody kind of goes through a phase of that, and they felt that at times, or they are that. I think that, you know, people really identify with the character. And cats. People love cats, you know.
That's what
girls especially, you know.
The next evolution of Emily is a movie, which you're working on right now. How is that going?
It's going great. I mean, again, I partnered up with Dark Horse. Mike Richardson, the publisher, president, owner, founder of Dark Horse Comics. Also an extremely great example of someone who can take a comic book and make it into a movie. We've seen this with Hellboy and 30 Days of Night. He's a great guy, and he's been attached as the producer for the film, and you know, we're talking to a lot of people right now, and we're making the deal happen. So,
is it going to be animated or live action?
Most recently, we've been talking about live action film with either an animated trailer beginning or animated dream. So hopefully there'll be a little bit of both.
If it is live action, then there's certainly going to be a challenge finding somebody with bodies.
That will be a challenge.
Yeah. Do you have anybody in mind? Dream casting?
I have some dream B characters, but no, I think it's kind of too early to talk about that.
And what's next? Or is the movie the thing that
the movie's big. We have a novel actually coming out with HarperCollins. It's released in May, and it's a great next step before the movie, in the sense that it's written from Emily's perspective. It's in a diary format. It's a 250 pages of Emily's thinking about how she's dealing with stuff on a day-to-day. It's a real adventure. It's an amnesia story, so the book starts off with her not even knowing who the hell she is herself. So she's journaling everything that she finds out about herself and trying to figure out the big mystery, which is who is she. And it's a nice little adventure story, full of sarcasm and wit, and Emily's commentary on the world in general.
Great. And when does that come out?
It comes out spring next year, I think May 2009.
And the comics are ongoing at this point?
Yes, we have a new series signed up with Dark Horse that'll be released, I think, sometime similarly around 2009 next year, too.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
My pleasure.
And stay tuned for much more from San Diego Comic-Con.